Hi and welcome to Fork in the Road. My name is Matthew Tate. This is a YouTube channel for anyone looking to transform their life. And today I'm joined by a very special guest. I'm joined by none other than Dot Häusler. Welcome, Dot. So today I've got Dot on the show because I've had a week of transformation with Dot. We're both students of an NLP Masters class, and I've been very inspired by Dot's story. So inspired, she gave me her ebook to read, and she showed me her magazine. And she is the editor-in-chief of a magazine, and it's entitled
Move On Magazine.
Move On Magazine. And the whole point of why I'm inspired by Dot is because at the age of 76, Dot has become an editor-in-chief of a magazine that is incredibly professionally put together, is the author of this ebook with the purpose of helping people over the age of 60 to move on from the death or the divorce of a loved one, which is a difficult time in life. And I've been very inspired by Dot and her story, and we're in this week of transformation, so I thought, why not do a video, which Dot has been excited to join me on today. So welcome, Dot.
Thank you, Matt.
So I suppose, Dot, the first thing to think about is what inspired you to go down this path? What's your story?
My story is that almost 3 years ago, my husband of 53 years passed away, and I found that I was left to do everything, where we'd worked together all the time before, and all those years had family together and everything. And I realised that once he was gone, that I had to take charge of my life.
Right.
And I had lots of struggles with superannuation and all those things that I had to get done, and I just thought that it must be so hard for other people to do all this, so I just thought that I'd like to just try and guide other people and tell them that there's life after 60 and it's never too late to start something.
That's inspiring. And so you're using your pain from a difficult situation to help others and show them a path forward.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so we'll start with the ebook entitled How to Move On and Survive the Death of a Loved One and Live Joyfully After the Death of a Partner. And so how to move on, learn to survive.
Yes.
So the title is pretty self-explanatory.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so when we go through the contents of your book, and I had a good read of it, starting out with surviving the loss, which is that grieving period is incredibly difficult.
It is, and you really cannot do it on your own. I know I had to have counselling.
Right.
Well, I felt I had to because I wanted to make a fresh start. And all the years that had gone before with family and all those things, I just wanted to really make something of my life.
Right.
And hope that I could inspire others, because I feel that it is never too late to try something new. And it doesn't matter if you never finish it, as long as you start it. And I've really had an incredible journey, because doing these courses I have been amongst much younger people and really related well to them, and they've related well to me. So
That's because you've got great energy. It's very easy to relate to you.
But I feel as though I'm just an ordinary person, not just someone fantastic or anything. I've just been pretty fortunate, and probably some of my attitudes got something to do with it.
Well, I think being an ordinary person is powerful because the average person can relate.
That's what I'm hoping. Yes.
And every human being is going to have to deal with death in some way, shape or form.
Yes.
And so with death, it's very important that we have a strategy to survive.
Yes.
To survive that difficult time. So what would be one of the stories or tips, or what's a story that comes out of that for you?
Well, one story that I relate to that helped me with the change was that I was a carer for my sister-in-law who had Alzheimer's.
Right.
And I saw that she wouldn't do anything for herself, and I wanted to teach her to send emails, and she just said to me one day, I don't have to do that if I don't want to. And every time something like this happened, I just strengthened my resolve to do things for myself.
Okay.
And so I just started to think about different things that I could do, and each time I just stepped that little bit outside my comfort zone.
Right.
And sometimes if someone said, oh, I'll help you with something, I often think, but I know more about it than you. So you really have to learn to survive when the people that you think are supporting you aren't always supporting you. So that's an added burden when you're on your own. That's the thing that I found disappointing, I'll say, you know. And there's the money issue, which is sometimes really big, because I was just waiting for money from the super and that in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was really quite difficult.
So you'd actually have a few tips and tricks. That could be a whole other book for you.
Oh,
ebook,
yes, it
on
could
how to
be.
survive the superannuation wait.
Yes, that's right.
And prepare for it.
Yes, yes.
Wow, this is all these sub-issues which comes out of this book.
Yeah, there's thousands of them that
I noticed that as I read the book, I thought, even one paragraph, I thought, oh, that is a deep rabbit hole of information that you'd have to unpack and learn how to handle. So that's surviving the death of the loved one. So that the first part is that grieving process.
Yes.
And that surviving the loss. And then you've already flicked over into the finances, and so financially you've got that waiting for the superannuation is an issue.
Yes.
And so what other things come to mind with the finances?
Well, and if there's been no will, or the will is invalid, which was my problem.
Oh wow, that's hard.
Yes, so I had to wait for, because my husband and I had separate accounts and a joint account as well.
Right.
But so I sort of had my money,
Yeah.
but I had to last on my money until his money could be cleared to do different things. And,
Right.
so there's lots of aspects to it all. And
So that estate planning is important to know. If you know it's coming, that's probably different. If it's sudden, then that's difficult. But to think about it, I suppose, once you get approaching the age of 80, just having yourself organised is actually going to show love to your loved one.
It is.
Because they're going to survive long enough for the money to come through.
Yes, and it's just so many aspects of that, and really I found that in the end it was only a few $1,000s to get a solicitor anyway, and I had almost 12 months of angst where I thought, I've got to do this by myself. I should be able to understand this, I should be able to do it, but there was probate and all.
Yeah, probate's a big one. Yeah.
Weird things.
Yeah, and it just, or you can't have the money because what if someone else shows up to claim it?
That's right.
All that sort of stuff, right?
That's right. You have to prove that you've been...
That you're with this person for 50 something years, and I've got to prove it. Right. So at what point did you look for the solicitor? Was that after 12 months of angst? It was. So that would be tip number one: get yourself a solicitor early to get access to what you should be able to get access to.
Yes. Don't do it yourself.
Don't do it yourself.
No,
right.
Because what I tended to do was procrastinate. Of course, it wasn't fun doing all those forms.
You're singing
things.
to the choir. Yeah, I know what you mean. We all avoid the difficult stuff.
Yes.
And so it's just understanding the value that the solicitor brings is that peace of mind, and 12 months of angst can actually severely affect your health, especially approaching 80. I would imagine the impacts on your health can be doubled,
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. So getting back to the book, then it says moving on from grief, getting the most from your new life.
Yes.
So what story do you have there from moving on from the grief or getting the most? It's like, one is letting go of what was,
Yes.
and the other is moving towards this new future.
Yes.
How did you approach that?
Well, I approached that by actually having counselling.
Right.
Not really normal counselling. I went to see Dr. DiMartini.
Oh,
I
right.
went to one of his
You went to
seminar.
a DiMartini, and so there was a counselling service there, was there?
Well, he got you up on stage. He actually said this thing about has anyone here had any grief recently, but me being a bit one to stand back, I didn't go forward first up.
Well,
Anyway,
you've changed that. Here we are in front of a camera. Things have
And
changed a lot.
In the end,
Yeah.
I did come forward.
Right.
And I really found it was cleansing that he sort of explained that everything is in balance, and the guilt that you always feel at the death of someone, you do feel that, did I do enough, or was it right for me to do that? That seems to be something that is always there. Will I forget this person? So many things.
Right.
And for
Yeah.
him to bring me up in front of everyone, which was so embarrassing, and talk it out with me and help me to see the values there.
So
really
that is
helped me.
the best coaching session from a guru of self-development,
Yes.
understanding psychology in a Dr. DiMartini. Wow,
Yeah.
I've seen his videos. He looks amazing.
Oh,
But
no idea.
wow, so that's inspiring. So for an average person who's not at a DiMartini,
that's
you know,
right.
your average 76-year-old probably not going to go to
No.
DiMartini conference.
And this is the thing that I want people to know, that just because you're 76 doesn't mean that you have to give away all those interesting things. You can be learning the whole time,
Wow.
which is what I have been doing. I've done not only doing these courses, I've done hypnotherapy courses online. And
Right.
I go to Udemy, which
Yeah.
is something for people to go to, because there's infinite possibilities. If you don't know something, you can go to Udemy or anyone,
Yeah, that's amazing.
even American universities
Yeah.
do courses online that are free. So
Wow.
anything you want to learn, you can learn.
Well, you've just taught me something there. I didn't realise I could go to the American universities
You
to get
can,
free online
I'm,
courses.
I'm not sure which universities, but if you look it up, you'll find that, there is different courses on. There's so many of those teaching sites. And that's another thing. If you want to go, say, write a book, there's plenty of places that can help you write a book.
Yeah,
Some free, some
pricing. Yeah,
pricing.
yeah.
So, and there's YouTube videos everywhere about everything.
Yeah.
So I've done quite a few courses, some computer related, because
Right.
I've actually done some of my websites myself in
That's amazing.
WordPress.
Here I am, like, overthinking, oh, what do I do? So you've used WordPress.
Yes.
This is helping me get it out of my own way here.
Yeah.
You've used WordPress and shot that off to your URL and you've figured it all out. That's amazing.
Yes. I don't know whether I just like a challenge, but
That's
and
great.
the other week I was really trying to do an app, but I failed miserably on that.
Oh, that
halfway
means
through.
you've just uncovered the skills, knowledge and experience that
Yes.
you need to bridge that gap. And
Yeah.
I'm sure if you've made a website, you can make an app. So,
Well, that's what I thought, but I'm not sure about that anymore.
well, don't give up on it. And we've got a room full of people, amazing students at our NLP and hypnotherapy masterclass who can attest to that.
Yes.
I'm sure there's some experience in that room to ask some questions
Yes.
about putting an app together. There'll be some tech guru up there.
Yeah.
So it sounds like now the conversation's moving into that getting the most from your new life, which you are most certainly doing. You're building websites, you've got a magazine, you've written an e-book, you've got your website,
Paint.
you paint.
So this is the sort of thing that I would like, if anyone is interested in painting. I was good with stickmen. I think I was good with stickmen.
Right.
But I'm not a great drawer, but I have done scenery and just painting.
And so you were, so you've moved into the art world.
I have.
So for somebody who is in that situation, they find themselves by themselves. Perhaps they're maybe at the other end of the grieving process, or maybe to help them through the grieving process, find themselves things to do. What would you suggest? Like, what resources would you say are available?
Well,
for
to be
websites?
honest, most of my stuff comes off YouTube.
Right.
If I do any paintings or anything, I go to YouTube and
Right.
look for it. And I do a bit of glass fusing, so I find things, because I've always been a crafty person. Really.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, what I'm trying to say is that just because you can't do something doesn't mean that you can't try, because in the doing is when you learn. And if you don't say to yourself, I have to learn to do this today, and give yourself time, it doesn't matter, really. So, yeah.
I think that our society's taught us, maybe in the school system, that it's not okay to fail, and as a result, we protect against trying anything that's not our skill.
Yes.
But how do you get a skill in the first place?
Well,
You've got to do something about
yes,
it. You've
that's
got to
right. Make a
practice
start.
it, that sort of thing. So it makes it very difficult to learn anything new if you don't try something new.
That's right. And really, to do for any skill or to learn anything new, all you have to do is a few minutes every day.
Yeah.
20 minutes at a time if you wanted to do it 2 or 3 times a day. But it just makes so much difference to your life.
Yeah.
If you get out there and meet people and do different things, and once you've done something new, then you're not frightened.
Yeah, not
Try
frightened.
something else, and you just think, oh, well, might as well try that. Yeah.
Well, so that's the key, is getting out there and trying those new things. I think a lot of people in that space are find it difficult to actually get out.
They do.
They get stuck.
Yes.
They're watching TV and they're in their comfy living room, and
Yes.
so that's the thing. What's the motivation to get the person out? That's the thing, and that's the danger, is that we go into a downward loop and we're then stuck.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and-
And there's always media out there to tell you you're too old for this and too old for that. But
Yeah.
I really have a theory, because I've lost my grandson at 30, my son-in-law at 54, that really it doesn't matter if you don't finish something, because if you die young, you've got a lot of things that you're going to not finish.
That's right. Yeah.
So why not try when you're elderly?
When you've got the
because-
time
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to cost much.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter if it doesn't finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're the only one who knows it doesn't finish, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
So the main thing is starting something new, learning something new, because learning is energy and
Yes,
growth,
Yes.
and that energy is probably going to keep you healthy, would you say?
Yes, definitely. Yes,
Wow.
definitely, because I do take 2 tablets a day, that's all, but I think
That's pretty good.
I really go without. I've actually made a determined effort. Quite a few years ago, I had visitors and they were comparing,
Yeah. Comparing pills.
comparing pills. Oh, how many pills you on? How many pills you on? And I just went, ha 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 ha. Are you on more pills than us? And I said, no, I'm only on 2.
And they're probably vitamins, right? Not even real heart stoppers or starters or whatever
No,
the
none of
heck,
them.
arthritis, this, that, and the other, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was funny, but yeah, and I said, oh, you will be. No, I won't. I made up my mind in that minute. Oh no, you won't be right.
So you've got, in chapter 3, that was moving on from grief and getting the most from a new life. So finding joy again, it sounds like a natural lead-in. So we've got all these new skills. We're painting, we're building websites,
Yes.
we're
Writing
running
books.
magazines, writing books, and that's exciting. And I like that forward movement, because I know some people in life that they get to that age and there's something stopping them. They need to come and do
Yes.
a course like this to just clear out the limiting belief that because we absorb what people tell us as a story and we swallow it whole.
We do.
And that's the problem, I think, with every age group. But every age group's got their different thing.
Yes. Yes.
And so, what are some of the beliefs that you identify in the over 60s that hold them back? Is there anything particular?
I think for me it was that it's a long time since I was at school, so
Right.
I won't be able to study.
Right.
But with a lot of my online courses, and you have an assessment after every module, and I'm actually passing first time, and
Right.
today that was a real thing because I always had it in my mind I wasn't educated as well as a lot of other people like that. It's just
that shift in belief for you was I haven't been to school for a long time, and when you passed it on the first go, you thought, oh,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden your mind has caught up. Oh, maybe I can do this.
Yes, yes.
So I can imagine that would stop a lot of people that I haven't been to school for a long time.
That's right, yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't go to high school, so I also had that.
Right,
and
so there's
then
layers.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
so many layers of
Yeah.
it. But once you get into it and start doing things you think you don't know, that's
Self-doubt.
self-doubt.
Which is what we all try and all need
Yes.
to just get rid of and have a go and build that inner resilience and confidence.
Yeah, and these sort of tests and things, mostly what they call open book, which I've never heard of before, but I'm good with books and computers, so, the answer's always there.
Yeah, and the key is knowing where to go and how to get there.
That's right,
Right,
yes,
so-
yeah, and a lot of it's common sense anyway, but, and, we've used our common sense for a long time, and
Yep.
we, people, women of our age, we have been here so long that we've proved that we're strong and resilient, and I would just love everyone to just get up and do something.
Yeah. Well, I think there's an underutilization of everybody over the age of 60. There's a lot of skills and a lot of knowledge,
Yeah.
and I would love to help people know that there are other avenues out there apart from what they've been told.
Yes, yes.
And that's what you are proving, which is why I was inspired to interview you, because I thought this lady, she's building websites, and I've been resisting building my website. Well, not anymore. And so Dot is an amazing example for everybody to move forward, and also now has written resources to that effect. So I think it's amazing. So then moving on to, so we've got finding joy again, happiness, fun, and finding comfort in every moment. So what stories jump out of that, like in happiness and fun? I guess you kind of already touched on that, haven't you?
Yes, I have really, because I find this fun that I'm mixing with younger people,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel younger
Of
and
course.
everything.
Yeah, I saw there was some study on that where they got a bunch of people over the age of 60 and got them to imagine they were 20,
Yes.
put them up in the hills somewhere, and they said their fingers grew, everything, like their body started regenerating, and pains went down. So I think it's, if you act younger, your brain doesn't know any different.
No,
Yeah,
no,
so-
it's really good. Someone asked me not long ago how old did I feel.
Yeah.
Well, some days I think I feel 34, and other days I feel 54. It doesn't,
It's pretty good numbers compared with 76, right?
so I don't really think too much about 76.
Sure.
I think I went to the doctor's once and he had it on the computer and I thought, oh shit, am I that old? It didn't seem right.
Yeah.
I thought it was a malicious rumour started by my mother actually, that I'm that old. I'm sure I'm younger than that.
Yeah, it's wrong on the birth certificate.
Yes.
They got it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, happiness and fun, clearly all these activities, hanging around younger people.
Yes.
I think that's the thing too. I think aged care facilities, being surrounded by people with a bad attitude,
Yes.
perhaps towards life,
Yes.
and that I'm almost out the door,
Yes.
so to speak, as opposed to hanging out with younger people and your energy's up and you're contributing. And I
Yes.
think that is the important thing. I think
It is.
you've gone through your life of contributing,
Yes.
and now you're not.
Yes.
That's a hard sort of pill to swallow. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, it is, and the media in particular, I know, because I got a bit cranky about this.
Yes.
That, there's always an 86-year-old man or a 76-year-old
Yeah.
woman or something did this, and I think,
Yeah.
what about all these other ones? You don't give their age. Why do you have to?
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
older?
that's a good
I mean,
point.
we're all just human beings. Our age is only a number. It's not even linear, is it? Our
No.
age, really.
Yeah,
So.
no.
I just get a bit
Get cranky.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know my mother does too, and she talks about people being mown down by an 86-year-old. Mown down, motive language. I mean, Year 9 media studies uncovers their language, pretty quickly. A motive language, what the hell? So, yeah.
And I think there's a lot to be said. I heard about a study that they did where they took young children and took them into a room and they used all these words about elderly and old and whatever, and they walked out. slumped over.
Yeah.
But when they took other kids in and everything was, happy and young, and it was, some experiment. But
Yeah, well,
and the difference as they came out was,
massive. So it's that energy they get. They actually pick up on it and they become it.
Yes.
So that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
So getting back to the book, then, finding comfort in every moment. Effectively, you're doing that with all these elements.
There is. I mean, I do get a bit cranky sometimes with my computer, but really.
But if you can find more moments of joy than the
Yes.
cranky, you're a human being, right?
Yes,
So you can't,
yes.
Unless you're Buddha and you've ascended.
Yes.
I mean, we're
Not
here
bad.
on planet Earth.
Yeah.
So it's finding that joy in every moment. So what resources then, or what would be the general advice you would give to someone who's trying to get themselves out of the home and out there doing something? Because I've noticed a lot with some of my older relatives that they're stuck at home and they don't believe, like, who's going to either employ me or that I can do something with, even if it's like a day a week or but it's like they don't believe the outside world has any worth in them.
Well, I have this idea that if I can encourage older people, if they can't get out or if they can't do this or that, is to sit down and write their life story.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be published, it doesn't have to be seen by anyone. But I had a friend who's 98 and she has written her life story for her children and her grandchildren.
Well, that's powerful.
That's all.
Yeah.
And she's always had me to, write my story.
Yes.
And so now I pass that on because I just saw what she did, and it doesn't matter if there's spelling mistakes or
Just
it's
the content.
Yes, and even if it's not in just as it happened, it can be just something you've written down, and it's just keeping your mind engaged, which I think's a really good thing.
Fantastic advice. So writing that story, that story of your family, it's a combination, of your life, should I say,
Yes.
is something that you can give to your family as a gift.
Yeah.
But you're probably going to find you might stir your brain up enough that you'll see you've got some skills.
Yes.
And that might motivate you out into the world again.
That's right, and this is the thing that we think we have no skills, but we've raised a family, for goodness sake,
That's
we,
the hardest
we
job.
know how to cook, we know how to do all those things.
Yeah.
Probably helped our husbands and whatever they did, I don't know, but I helped my husband a lot in jobs and things that he did. We worked a lot together.
Right.
Maybe you've got that. I mean, maybe you've got the skills. If you worked before, you've always still got those skills.
Yeah.
So
it's
you
about-
don't have to be great. You just need to do something.
It's all about getting yourself moving, and you can get stuck at any age.
Yes.
But you're moving yourself probably at the age of life where most people, they just give up on trying.
Yes. Yes.
Whereas, you found that life force by trying all these things.
Yes, and I sort of, even before my husband passed away, I sort of had this feeling that there was more that I hadn't done.
Right, so it was a vision for the future was
It
there.
was, but I couldn't see how it would happen.
Right.
Just sort of, and now I haven't rushed at all. It's
Right.
just evolved slowly. And last time when I came to NLP and Masters,